Good afternoon. You've heard me say this before, and you'll hear me say it again. In fact, you'll hear me say it on Sunday in worship. I want us to really be intentional this year about paying attention to Holy Week. I know we recognize that every year, and I want us to really be mindful of the significance of what it means to not jump too quickly from Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday. And as we're preparing here for Palm Sunday, I'm remembering that during Holy Week, we'll have a Maundy Thursday service that was filmed here at this church with Reverend Casey Hinds, my wife, and myself. We filmed that here for Maundy Thursday. And then we did the Good Friday service. We filmed that at the Urbana Church where she serves, and you'll see that on Friday. So there's two opportunities during Holy Week to worship in that way. But I invite you to take your own time and look in the Gospels and find the Palm Sunday reading, and then find the Easter story, the resurrection story, and pay attention between Monday and Friday and Saturday to what happens in between. You'll find Jesus teaching the disciples. You'll find some parables and other stories he tells, some teachings he makes. You'll also find evidence of the brutality and violence that happened during that week, most of it directed toward Jesus. And read that and just be with that and be mindful of Jesus' suffering. Be mindful of Jesus crying out to God, feeling forsaken, but knowing he really wasn't. For in the end, it was Jesus who said, "Not my will, Lord, but yours be done." But that doesn't mean it was without suffering, without pain, without humiliation. The death that Christ suffered was the death of a common criminal, crucifixion. And the beatings and the flogging he endured during the week were real. And we best remember the way that we know God's saving love in Jesus Christ is that Christ himself, God's only Son, has endured that. And in his suffering, he knows our suffering. And in our suffering, we are not alone. So keep that in mind as you read and really take the time to internalize and contemplate what it was that happened between Palm Sunday, between Jesus' first entry into Jerusalem and his death following his crucifixion. Not looking too quickly at the Easter story, which we know is coming. From where we stand in history, we know that story too, and that's a beautiful and glorious foundation of our faith. But what happens in between is just as important to our understanding of the depth of God's love for us and the presence of God with us. So do that this week. Read those stories. Read them all if you have time. And remember that God is never far away from us. God's with us in our joy, and God is with us in our suffering, because God in Christ has been there as well. So go in peace, and I will see you in person next Sunday, April 4th, Easter Sunday, when we gather in this sanctuary for worship together. It's been too long, and I can't wait to see you. Go with God and know that you are loved.